Singapore. Chloe, my lovely student, has graciously welcomed us in her yoga space, which is beautiful, as you can see here in Singapore, and we're so excited to do this experiment with you. Let's see how it goes. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you, Gemma.
Okay, so we're going to start in Vidrasana with Chloe sitting on her heels. And for now, she can just rest the palms of her hands on her thighs. And if you're practicing along with us at home, feel free to close the eyes. We're just going to spend a few moments here to draw some awareness to the breath. Settle into the mat. Here in Singapore, it's late in our afternoon, so there's been a whole day to maneuver around here during the lockdown. So just take a few moments to breathe easily and settle into the mat. And then gradually, as you breathe, the breath should slow down. So each inhalation and each exhalation should become a little bit longer. Breath is still in and out through the nose. And then as Chloe breathes, she might notice whether she's holding any tension in the body. So she might relax the jaw, consciously relax the muscles of the face. So that in this stillness, there's also a softness that runs across the body and the skin. Just a few more breaths here. Coming into the space. And then on the next inhalation, Chloe's going to take her thumb and index finger and sort of cup her side ribs right under the bra line. Yeah, so the thumb will hold kind of the back bra line, the index finger will hold the front rib. And then on the inhalation, I want her to consciously flare the rib cage and expand into her thumb and index finger. And as she exhales, she'll feel the contraction and condensing of the ribs. So the breath is more or less the same as a slow inhale and a slow exhale, but she's using her fingers as this tactical point to expand and contract the ribs. Now you could choose to do this with a normal in and out breath through the nose, or with Ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath. I won't teach it today, but if you have that in your practice, totally fine. And as Chloe breathes, I want her to think about keeping the shoulders relaxed, so that the chest is still broad, widening across the collarbones, and it's really just this flaring and contracting of the rib cage with breath. A few more just like that. So that the whole circumference of the torso expands and contracts. If you think about a cylinder, all edges of the cylinder should be moving. Take one more deep breath, expand into the thumb and index finger, and a deep breath out, and then release the hands. Very nice. On the inhalation, she'll bring the arms up overhead. And then take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Pull the left wrist up towards the ceiling, and then on the exhalation, side bend over to the right. want to here, the hips can slide a little bit to the left, so almost like you were going to roll off your heels. And as you breathe, think about pulling that left arm even more out of the shoulder socket. Maybe turning the chest up towards the ceiling a little bit. And then keep drawing some weight down on that left hip. Stretching the side body long. Super nice. One more cycle of breath here. And then inhale, come back up to neutral. Switch the clasping of the wrist. And then stretch over to the left. Again, you could roll the hips maybe a little bit more to the right if you enjoy that. And then as you breathe to the side, again, think about turning the chest, maybe even the gaze up towards the ceiling. So it's opening not just across the side body, but also a little bit of a sense or hint of a back bend in the upper. Really nice. On the next inhalation, come back up to neutral, reach both palms towards the ceiling. And then we'll take the hands, bring them down the center line into Anjali Mudra, right in front of the heart. If your eyes are open, close them for a moment. Be grateful for this stillness and this time wherever you are on your mat. Chloe's going to move forward onto her hands and knees, tabletop. And just for a few cycles of breath, I want her to kind of roll the wrists around clockwise, counterclockwise. So she might shift to the side, she might shift forward, just little rolls. Then she'll do the other hand. Trying to lubricate the joints a little bit. It can be really stiff at this moment, especially if you've been doing a lot of computer work. I certainly have, working from home. Okay, and then she's going to place, yes, exactly, the top of her left hand down on the floor. So as you had. And then spend a couple of breaths here and really think about spreading the fingers, so even though the palm is inverted now, pressing that thumb down to the floor, opening through the back of the arm, nice stretch in the forearm, and then switch sides when she's ready. Says it's time for yoga. Okay, and then she'll release the palm, tuck the toes, and invert into downward facing dog. So you have a few breaths here in downward facing dog, and I always like to take these first few moments to kind of fidget around, get it out of your system. Maybe you bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you kind of sway from side to side as you wish. Take your time as you move. Nice. And then eventually allow both heels to soften towards the floor and come into stillness. I want you to come back to that feeling with the breath where you had your thumb and index finger on your ribs, and think again about the whole circumference of your torso expanding and contracting with breath. Ground into the thumb and index finger of each hand. And then see if you can create a little bit more of length in the side waistline. So the space between the tops of the hips and the low ribs expand. Breath is still slow and long in and out through the nose. On the inhalation, round forward through a cat spine into plank pose, upper cushion position. Shoulders will come over the wrists. Chloe will drop her hips a little bit more and find a little bit of opening through the heart. So really find a plank pose. Hips can come even just a hair lower. Yeah. Then lower the knees to the mat. Inhale, arch the spine, drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, round into cat. Draw the navel in, sideways, lifts towards the ceiling. Really nice. Inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine, open the chest. Feel the shoulder blades integrate on the back. Yes, exhale, round into cat. One more. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, feel the shoulders slide on the back. Exhale, round into. Good. On the inhalation, come back into neutral. Keep the right hand where it is. Step the left foot back on the mat as if you were stepping into a warrior two leg or a side, so right knee stays down, left foot just grounds to the floor like a warrior two leg. Yes, left arm is gonna lift. You're in a side plank prep. Keep the left arm towards the ceiling for a moment. Pull the front ribs in so you feel like your back is coming towards my hand. You can see now I have my palm kind of behind Chloe's back. I want her to draw her front ribs in a little bit more and reach into my hand with her back body. Yes. On the next inhalation, draw the left arm along the left ear, so she'll create a long side length from the left foot all the way to the left fingers. Don't stop breathing and don't stop pulling the front ribs in towards the body. Really nice. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Inhale, return your left hand and your left knee to the floor, tabletop. Tuck the toes, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, take a breath to pause. Exhale, and a breath to empty. Inhale, plank pose. Yep. And then on the exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Bend your elbows and sort of slide through a supported Chaturanga Dandasana. All the way to the floor, all the way down, all the way down. Good. Once she's on the floor, she's going to flip the palms so the back of her hands are going to come to the floor. She's going to keep her elbows in towards the side rib. Keep softening in the upper back. Yes. And on the inhalation, lift a little bit higher into a low cobra. Belly stays down, pelvis stays down. Exhale, lower back down onto the belly. Two more just like that. Press into the backs of your hands. Lift up, low cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, release down. One more. Inhale, keep the elbows squeezing in. Yes, don't tighten in the upper back. Exhale, release. And then she's going to come onto her forearms, and you can either take the palms apart, or if you prefer to interlace the fingers and squeeze the hands, that's totally fine. Then she'll tuck her toes and press into a low plank, right on the forearms. Yeah, you might need to walk the toes in a little bit, scoop the tailbone, feel the belly draw in. And then staying in this forearm plank, she's going to start to slide her heels to one side and then the other. So first they'll swivel to the right. Yes. Inhale, come back up through neutral. Exhale, swivel to the left. Good. Inhale, come through neutral. Exhale, swivel right. Inhale through neutral. Exhale, swivel left. One more time each side. Inhale, don't flare the tailbone. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come to neutral. Walk your feet in into dolphin pose. So hips come up. She'll walk the feet in. And then pull the chest back towards the thighs. Stretching into the shoulders. Don't lose the grounding of the palms here as the chest pulls back through the thighs. Take a Few breaths to enjoy the stretch in the shoulders. Still think about creating that side waistline length, so reaching from the low ribs through the hips. And then when you're ready, release the knees to the mat, release the toes, press back to child's pose. Give yourself a moment to reset. On the next inhalation, back up through tabletop, tuck the toes, downward facing. Inhale, look between the hands, step the right foot forward, step the left foot forward, lengthen slightly and fold over the legs, Uttanasana. On the inhalation, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, one vertebra at a time to round up to stand, so head should be the very last thing that comes up. Round, 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 round. When you reach Tadasana, standing, release the shoulders away from the ears. Take a moment to pause. Root through the inner edges of your feet, so make sure that the base of the pose starts very firm and deliberate from the floor. One more breath to inhale, and a breath to exhale. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And as you exhale, side bend to the right. So again, stretching through the left side body. Keep drawing the belly in, pulling that left wrist a little bit more to the right. Another cycle of breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, come back up through neutral, switch the clasping of the wrist, so left hand to right wrist, and bending over to the left side. Again, tailbone coming down, belly in slightly, there you go. More stretching across the right side body. Super nice, one more, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, come back up through neutral, reach both palms up, and then exhale with soft knees, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana, prepare. Exhale, forward fold. Soft knees, step your left foot back into a low lunge. Immediately drop the left knee, inhale, lengthen and fold, drop the back knee, lift your chest for a moment. And then exhale, lengthen and fold right over the legs. So you keep the fingers right where they are, straightening the legs, head towards the front. Twice more like that. So on the inhalation, you just tap the back knee, you look forward, fingers stay down. Yeah, there you go. Exhale, lengthen and fold. One more. Inhale, tap the back knee. Exhale, lengthen and fold, straightening that right leg as you lengthen. Right leg straight, right leg straight. Yeah, there you go. And then holding here in the lengthen and fold, I want her to, again, drop her left heel into that warrior 2 foot. So yeah, it's gonna turn in. And then she's gonna kind of stick her right butt way out behind her. Walk the left fingers towards the left corner of the mat. Yeah. So as she kind of pulls back through the right hip, she might feel a stretch on the inner right thigh through the adductor muscle. And then I want her to crawl those left fingers towards the left corner of her mat even a little bit more. Yeah, so you should feel both a stretch through the inner right thigh and also perhaps, depending on how tight you are, a stretch through the left side body. And then hopefully Chloe is breathing. I don't hear her.
I am.
Good, she's still alive. Got one more cycle of breath here. And slowly she'll walk herself back into a low lunge, ground the hands, and step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing. Inhale, take a breath to pause. Exhale, empty. Inhale, drop the knees to the floor. Arch the spine, drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. Inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine. Exhale, round to cat, pull up on the side waistline. Really nice. One more. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, round to cat. Inhale, return the spine to neutral. Step the right foot back again into that warrior two leg. Left knee stays down. Right arm will reach towards the ceiling. She's in her side plank prep. And then as she breathes here, she could tuck the left toes, by the way, if she's having trouble with the balance. I want her to think about integrating the left shoulder into the back body. Again, I'm going to put my hand on her lower back to remind her to pull her front ribs and belly in. Yes, that's much better. On the next inhalation, lengthen the right arm along the right ear, reaching through the fingers, and try to feel that length from the outer edge of the right foot all the way through the right fingers. One more inhale, and one more exhale. Inhale, return the right hand and the right knee to the floor, tabletop, tuck the toes, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a breath to ground, thumb and index finger rooting to the floor, and a breath to empty. Inhale, big cat tilt in the spine to round forward into upper push-up position, plank pose, shoulders over the wrists. And then maybe she'll keep the knees off the floor. She could always drop them if she needs to. A very slow descent through chaturanga or supported chaturanga. Don't drop the heads of the shoulders all the way to the floor. On the belly, release the tops of the feet to the floor. Flip the palms so the back of the hand presses into the floor. On the inhalation, squeeze the elbows in, pull the chest up. Bhujangasana. Don't hike the shoulders by the ears. Yes. Exhale, release down. Two more just like that. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, release. Inhale, pressing up. Beautiful. Exhale, release. On the inhalation, release the hands, come onto your forearms. Again, palms can be apart, or you could clasp the hands together. Tuck the toes, press back through the heels. Maybe you walk the toes a little bit further forward. That is not a plank, my dear.
Oh, not sorry.
Scoop the tailbone under. Yeah, we all want to avoid plank. And then again, she's going to drop her heels over to the left, just kind of rolling in the belly. The inhalation will bring her back through center. Exhale, roll the heels to the other side. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Good breathing. Two more. Inhale. Exhale left. Inhale. Exhale right. Inhale, pause in plank. Scoop that tailbone again. Don't hike the butt. Then walk your feet in. Coming into dolphin, the chest is going to press back to the thighs, stretching the shoulders. Now you might have the kind of length in the hamstrings that Chloe does, which is very beautiful, but if not, don't worry, soften the knees a little bit. So for me in this pose, it's more about getting the chest through to the thighs, really stretching into the shoulders than it is about lengthening the hamstrings. One more cycle of breath. And then when she's ready, release the knees, release the toes, press back to child's pose. Give yourself a moment to reset. Come back to that feeling of the back body breathing and expanding. arms are not already extended forward, reach them forward, then come back onto the hands and knees, tuck the toes, press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands, step your left foot forward, right foot forward. Lengthen a little bit, fold over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone one vertebra at a time, round up to stand. Head is the very last thing to come up. When you reach Tadasana, settle the shoulders, settle the breath. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Left wrist to right, left hand to right wrist. Lengthen up, exhale, side bend to the left. Yes. Few breaths here to work the side body length. Belly in there. One more inhale, get a little bit longer. Exhale, deepen the side stretch. Inhale, come up through neutral. Exhale, switch so the right hand clasps the left wrist. Side bend over to the right as you exhale. Each inhalation, she lengthens a little bit more. Exhale, deepen into the side stretch. One more inhale, really pull through that wrist. Yeah. Exhale, deepen the stretch. Inhale, come up through neutral, reach both palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, soft knees, fold over the legs. Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Lower bend, you were right. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. Exhale, forward fold. Soft knees, the right foot steps back, low lunge. Immediately tap the back knee, keep the fingers where they are. Open the chest, yeah. Exhale, straighten both your legs, head towards the front knee. Yeah, much better on this side. Inhale, tap the back knee, open the chest, feel the shoulder blades reach towards one another on the back. Exhale, lengthen and fold. One more, inhale, tap the back knee, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Same thing as she holds the stretch here. The right foot is going to adjust and shift into a warrior 2 foot. The left butt is going to really stick out behind her, so I'm going to tell her to reach her butt towards the camera. Yeah, exactly. Walk the right fingers towards the right corner edge of the mat. Yeah, and then pull back. So she's going to try to feel a stretch through the inner left thigh again. Opening the adductor muscle. Reaching through the right fingers. She might keep crawling that hand a little bit more forward so that there's a stretch across the right side body. And also through that inner left thigh. Last couple of breaths here. On the next inhalation, slowly release yourself back into low lunge. Plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out. Now this is a good thing to check for yourself, and I'm going to make Chloe do it as well. Have a look forward at your hands, and you might notice that one hand is a little bit further back than the other. So in Chloe's case, her left hand is way further back. So make sure that you have a nice symmetry in the hands. Then re-ground through the thumb and index finger. You can release the head and neck again. Beautiful. One more cycle of breath here. Inhaling. Yes, I like what's happening in the arms. Exhale. Inhale, drop your knees to the mat. Drop the belly, arch the spine, cow pose. Exhale, round into cat. Inhale, return the spine to neutral. Step the left foot back into that warrior 2 position. Lift the left arm, side plank press. One breath here to pause. Keep the front ribs drawing in. Next inhalation, left arm reaches along the left ear. Exhale, turn the chest a little bit more. Beautiful. Inhale, release the left hand, left knee to the mat. Tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, big cat tilt through the spine to come into plank pose, upward push-up position. Exhale, very slow, lower Chaturanga Dandasana all the way to the floor. Once you reach the floor, tops of the feet press, flip the palms so the back of the hands is on the floor. Inhale, lift into Bhujangasana, Cobra. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, release the hands into forearm plank position. Again, you can clasp the hands or the palms can face one another, forearms on the floor, sweetie. Yeah. Tuck the toes, press the hips up, forearm plank. Take a moment here to ground in forearm plank. Inhale. Exhale, roll the heels to the right one time. Twist in the belly. Very nice. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, walk the feet towards the hands. Nope, only once. Yeah. Walk the feet in, walk the feet in. Find dolphin for a moment. And exhale, release the knees to the floor, release the toes. Press back through child's pose very briefly. Maybe just one breath here. Inhale, bring yourself forward, back onto your hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Press back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Step your right foot between the hands. Left foot to meet the right. Lengthen the spine a little bit. Fold over the legs. Inhale, soft knees. Tuck the tailbone one vertebra at a time to round up to stand. Head is the very last thing to come. In Tadasana, let the shoulders settle. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Right hand to left wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. One cycle of breath. Inhale, come back up to neutral. Switch the hold of the wrist. Left hand, right wrist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, come back up to neutral. Reach the fingers up. Exhale with soft knees, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Soft knees, left foot steps back. Drop the back knee, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Straightening two legs. There you go. And then once again, she's going to drop her back heel into that warrior 2 foot. Pull the right hip back, so towards the plants. Walk the left fingers towards the left corner of the mat. And then she can play around here by flexing the right foot, so the right toes will draw off the floor. And then maybe she's going to internally and externally rotate her leg. So flex, see if you can come on that heel, reaching the feet towards the ceiling. Come up, flex. Yeah, there you go. And then her toes will reach towards the right wrist to externally rotate. They'll reach towards the left wrist to internally rotate. She'll just do that a few times to sort of floss that right hip. One more, externally rotating. And internally rotating. Good. Return to neutral, release the foot down, crawl yourself back into a low lunge, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. One more time, inhale, drop the knees to the mat, drop the belly, arch the spine, cow pose, right into cow. Exhale, round to cat, draw the belly in and up. Inhale, return to neutral. Step the right foot to the back of the mat, warrior 2 foot and leg. Reach the right arm towards the ceiling, side plank. One cycle of breath here to inhale. Yes, now she knows what I'm going to tell her, to draw the belly and the front ribs in. Exhale. Inhale, reach the right arm along the right ear. Feel the length from right foot all the way to right fingertips. As you exhale, turn and open the chest a little bit more. Inhale, release the right hand and the right knee to the floor. Tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, big cat tilt in the spine to round forward. That's better. Into plank pose. On the exhalation, remember knees could drop if they need to, otherwise stay lifted, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana all the way to the floor. Once you're on the floor, tops of the feet press, flip the palms one last time so the back of the hands are on the floor. Inhale, lift one cycle into Bhujangasana. Don't hike in the neck and shoulders. Yes. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, come onto the forearms. Again, palms could be apart. You could clasp the hands, tuck the toes, forearm plank. Inhale, take a breath. Exhale, roll the heels to the left one time. Inhale, come through center. Roll the heels to the right. Inhale, come through center. Walk the feet in towards the arms, coming into dolphin. Pull the chest back through the thighs so you're really stretching again across the shoulders. Remember, you could soften the knees here if you need to. Keep pulling back. And when you're ready, release the knees, release the toes, press through child's pose. One cycle of breath to reset. Breath to empty. Inhale, come back onto the hands and knees, tuck the toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands, left foot forward, right foot forward, lengthen a little bit and fold. Inhale, soften the knees, tuck the tailbone one vertebra at a time to round up to stand. Head is the very last thing to come up. When you reach Tadasana, pause there. Draw the tailbone down a little bit, pull the front belly in. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Left hand to right wrist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Make it a little bit more fluid now. Inhale, come back up through neutral, switch the clasp of the wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, come through neutral, reach the fingers up towards the ceiling, soft knees, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. Nice, exhale, forward fold. Soft knees, right foot steps back. Tap the back knee to the floor, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold, two straight legs. Drop the back heel into the warrior two foot. Stick the left butt out behind you. Crawl the right fingers towards the right corner edge of the mat. And then again, if you can come onto the left heel, flexing the foot. Yes. And then turn the left toes towards the left wrist so you come into external rotation. Turn the toes towards the other wrist, right wrist for internal rotation. About 4 more times with your breath to floss that hip externally and internally rotating. And return to neutral after your 4th time. Crawl back into a low lunge. Plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog. And very slowly, 1 foot at a time, walk yourself to the top of your mat. You can be really nice and slow. Chloe's doing big steps, you could take tiny steps. Pause when you reach Uttanasana in your forward bend. Give yourself a moment. Maybe you shake the head out from side to side. Soften the jaw if you've kind of lost the feeling of release that you had when we did our breathing. Yeah, Chloe has one hand to each elbow. That's also a really nice variation. And as she does that, I'm going to take the opportunity to again remind her to create a little bit length through the side waist. Give yourself a couple of moments here just to pause and enjoy the forward bend. When you're ready, release that variation of the arms. Tuck the tailbone one vertebra at a time to round up to stand. Soft the knees. Again, think about the feet. Ground through the inner edges of your feet. From the inner edges, think about the kneecaps lifting, quadriceps lifting, pelvis lifting, front belly lifting. And then with all of that front lift, don't forget about the back body. Back ribs also expanding with breath. Take the hands in front of the heart into Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms pressed, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. We'll do one very slowly together. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, jump to Chaturanga. You could also step back and lower down. Inhale, roll over the toes to upward facing dog or cobra as you wish. Exhale, downward facing. 5 breaths here. Inhaling and exhale. Inhaling for 2. Draw the front ribs in a little bit more. Yes. Exhale. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale for 4. Exhale. Inhale for 5. Exhale. Bottom of the breath, look forward, lift the heels high, bend the knees and hop, or you could step the feet between the hands. Lengthen the spine a little bit and fold. Inhale, press into the feet, bring the arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, hands down the center. Again, inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, jump right into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhaling for 1. Exhale. Inhaling for 2. Draw the front ribs in a little bit more. Exhale. Inhaling for 3. Exhale. Inhaling for 4. Exhale. Inhaling for 5. Exhaling. Bottom of the breath, look forward, lift the heels high, bend the knees, prepare. Hop or step the feet between the hands. Lengthen slightly. Exhale. Inhale, arms overhead, palms pressed, Urdhva Hastasana, lengthen through the side waist. Exhale, hands down the center line. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, prepare, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, transition back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, 5 breaths. Count on your own time and in your own pace. This left hand has creeped back a little bit again, so make sure the symmetry is still there. At the end of your 5th breath, whenever that is, again, look forward, lift the heels high, prepare. Hopper, step the feet between the hands. Lengthen and Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down the center line. Then 2 more times of Surya Namaskar A on your own. I'm going to shut up for 2 cycles, and Chloe's going to move as she likes with her breath. You should be about finishing up with the second cycle of Surya A. Take your time. I'm a big fan of having a little bit of time and space to move on your own. When you're done, we'll meet at the top of the mat in Tadasana. Hands in front of heart. If the big toes are not already together, take them together, heels slightly apart. Then take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, reach the arms up as you bend the left knee and sit back in ankle to knee pose. So, nope, you're right. Right ankle over left knee. Yep, bend the left knee, sit back, arms overhead, palms apart. Palms apart, sweetie. Palms apart, overhead. Palms apart. There you go. And then she's going to slowly start to hinge at her hips and come almost about halfway down towards the ground. So the belly will kind of be hovering a little bit over that right ankle. I'm going to ask Chloe to flex her right foot. Yes, and not crash into the wall in front of us. And then as she breathes here, I want her to think about that length through the side waistline that we had in the beginning of class. It's one action to step the right foot to meet the left, lift the torso a little bit, Utkatasana, awkward chair. Right foot meets the left, knees stay bent, awkward chair. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen, prepare. Exhale, fold. Soft knees, step your left foot back behind you into a low lunge. Drop the left knee, keep the toes tucked, bring the arms overhead so you're in a crescent lunge. Take the left wrist with the right hand. Your inhalation will lengthen you up a little bit. Pull out of those hips, and on the exhalation, side bend to the right. As she breathes here, actively pull your right heel and your left knee towards one another isometrically. So there's a bit of a hugging in of the legs that you should feel. You're not just crashing into the hips. Think about one more cycle of breath, creating more length through the spine, more side stretch through the left side body. Inhale, bring yourself upright, reach the fingers towards the ceiling, take the hands together, bring them down the center line, hook your left elbow over the right knee or right thigh, coming into Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. And then you can either stay and work with the back knee down here, or you can activate the back leg. And then as you breathe, think about hugging the hips towards one another in the center line, and then turning your belly just like it was twisting in those low planks that we did. So that I want you to think about your left belly reaching towards the ceiling as the right belly pulls back. Yeah. Nice. One more cycle of breath, trying a little bit of back bending in the upper back. Yeah, super nice. And then release the hands down towards the floor, step back, downward facing dog. She has an optional vinyasa here to come forward into plank pose, come through chaturanga, through upward facing dog, or you just stay and hang out as you like. Inhale, plank pose. Right hand, outer edge of right foot, left hand left foot stacks on top of the right, side plank. Nope, other way. Yeah. Take a moment here inside plank. Again, don't forget about the belly and the front ribs coming in. Left arm is reaching up, right shoulder is integrated into the back. Inhale, come through plank. Switch sides, left hand is grounded, left outer edge of the foot, right foot stacks on top. Again, think tailbone long, belly in, left shoulder integrating into the back, reach the right arm up. And then she's just gonna kind of hike her right knee up towards her chest and step the right foot to the outside right edge of her mat. Yeah, to a wide lunge coming into lizard. So both hands are gonna come on the inside of the right foot, yeah. And you can release the back knee. You could have the back knee lifted. Chloe is super open in her hips, so it looks pretty comfortable to have the back knee lifted, but it could also be down. And take a few breaths here to work the hip opener. Create a little bit more softness through the upper back. Come up onto the finger tops. Ground the back heel for warrior two. You'll be slightly out of alignment, that's okay, and then bring the arms up for warrior two. So the feet are a little bit off kilter here. It's all right, we're not gonna be here super long. As you inhale, draw the tailbone down, scoop the front belly in, that's much better. Inhale for two. Exhale. Inhale for three. Keep lifting the side ribs long. Exhale. Inhale, straighten both your legs, reach the arms towards the ceiling. Again, take the left wrist with the right hand, pull your hips out of the socket, and then slowly start to tilt into Trikonasana. Not very far, that right hip is gonna draw in. Remember that external rotation that we had, so don't collapse in the chest, don't collapse in the chest, stay open, yes. And then she's gonna turn and open her upper body a little bit more, finding openness in the upper back. One more breath here. And then slowly release into low lunge, bring the hands down, step back, downward facing. One breath here to pause, inhaling. Exhale, empty. Bottom of the breath, lift the heels, look forward, bend the knees, hop or step the feet between the hands. Lengthen a little bit and fold. Bring the arms up overhead, palms press. Exhale, hands down the center line. Hook the left ankle in front of the right knee. Bend the right knee, sit back as if you're coming into Utkatasana. Reach the arms up, flex that left foot, yes. Feel the belly and the front ribs draw in. And then slowly fold about halfway so the fingers are going to reach forward long in the side waistline. Really nice. Now I want her to transition a little bit more smoothly on this side. So as the left foot comes down to meet the right, she'll lift the torso a little bit and step right into awkward chair. Yes, much better. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back, low lunge. Release the back knee, keep the right toes tucked. Bring the arms overhead into crescent lunge. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen a little bit more, pull out of the hips, front belly in. Exhale, side bend to the left. Yes. Then again, think about isometrically drawing the right knee and the left heel towards one another on the mat. Don't lose the engagement of the core. Get a little bit more side length through the right side. Inhale, bring yourself back up through center. Take the hands together, bring them down the center line. Hook the right elbow over the left thigh or the left knee. Right knee can stay down or it can lift. Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. Then again, think about having your hips as if they're in a vice, so the outer hips squeeze towards one another. As you do that, the lower belly twists more towards the ceiling. Yes. And then a little bit of backward bend feeling in the upper back. Really nice. Inhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, upper push-up position. Side plank on the left. Left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Other ways we do that. Couple of breaths here. Again, belly and front ribs in, tailbone long. Inhale, come through plank. Switch sides, right hand, left arm up. Again, belly, front ribs in. And that left knee is just going to kind of hike up towards the left ribs and is going to step to the outer edge of the left mat. Yep. Coming down into lizard. Again, you could drop the back knee. Since Chloe left it up on the other side, she should, again, repeat that on this side. Soften into the hips a little bit. Few breaths. Pressing back through that right heel if you have the leg lifted. Really nice. And then she's going to come on her fingertips first. Ground the right foot into warrior two. Bring the arms up again. Feet are a little bit out of normal alignment, but that's okay. 3 breaths. Drawing the tailbone down, pulling the front belly up, yes. And then can you come back to that feeling of the cylinder of your torso, expanding and contracting with breath as you breathe. The next inhalation, straighten the left leg, bring the arms up. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand, last time with this variation of the arms. Exhale, slowly start to cut the left hip in, so you're coming out through triangle as long as possible for a moment. So you're just kind of floating, 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 floating. Eventually, she'll turn and open the chest. She released the arms on the other side, so let's do that here as well. Last couple of breaths. Release the right hand down, coming into low lunge. Step back into downward facing dog. It's time for an optional vinyasa if you want to flow through. breath, look forward, compare, hop or step the feet between hands. Lengthen and fold. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, Urdhva, palms press. Exhale, hands down the center line. Pause for a moment in Tadasana. Again, drop that tailbone, lift the belly. That's better. Inhale, take the right ankle in front of your left knee. Bend the left knee, reach the arms up. Same thing. And then you could either stay here and come about halfway like we did before, or if you can, you'll release the hands to the ground and sort of tuck the right toes around your left upper arm. And then maybe you might come forward into the arm balance if you have Galavasana in your practice. Otherwise, just kind of hanging out here for me is a great stretch in the hip. Yeah, she's going to try to lift that back leg, lift the belly, lift the belly, lift the belly. Yes. Good. Don't worry if you lose it. And then we're going to meet in a high lunge actually, so that left foot will step back, the arms will lift overhead, palms face one another. Now, Chloe, you probably have heard me say it now a lot in class. She has this tendency to really let the pelvis rock forward. I want her to think about that tailbone down, front belly and ribs in, more length through the side waist, and then don't lose the power of your back leg as you do that. Inhale, bring the hands down the center line. Left elbow outside of the right thigh or right knee. And then you can either keep the hands here in prayer, or if you want to scissor the arms, the left hand can come on the outside of the right foot, right arm towards the ceiling. And then I like in this class to bring the right arm along the right ear, so you have that final expression of right hip pulling back, right fingers reaching towards the front of the room. Turn and open the side waist even more. Smile a little bit. And then slowly release. Frame the front foot with the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale, plank pose. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot, Vashisthasana, side plank. Inhale, left hand down, switch sides, right arm up, side plank. Take the right knee, draw it towards the chest, step the right foot to the right upper edge of the mat, coming into lizard. This time, release the knee to the floor, release the toes. Okay, and then she's gonna come on her finger tops, so she'd just like to wedge herself a little less out of the pose, and dig her right shoulder underneath the right thigh, stepping the right hand to the outside of the right foot. We're gonna leave the left knee down today, although you could do the variation with the leg up. And then she's slowly going to lean onto her right hand, taking the weight of that right leg onto her upper arm as a shelf. If she can, she's going to take hold of her right foot with her left hand. So you might need to, no. Right foot with your left hand. You might need to walk your left knee a little bit forward. So right foot, left hand. Yeah, there you go. So first, she really needs to create a shelf with her right arm. And then I would walk your left knee just a little bit forward. I think you're a little bit too stretched out. Yeah, there you go. And then she's going to try to take the weight of the right leg into that right arm. The right foot is going to come off the floor. Yes, and she's going to extend into compass, but with the left knee down. And I like this variation so that she can energize more into the right shoulder blade, turn and open the left side body. Remember that external rotation that we did in the right leg. Draw your right outer hip back a little bit, turn the left side belly, and then slowly release. And just step yourself back into child's pose for a moment. Give yourself a couple of breaths to kind of even out. Slide yourself forward and up into downward facing dog. Bottom of the breath, look forward, bend the knees, prepare, hopper, step, step. Lengthen the spine, forward. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands down the center. Okay, last time, let's finish strong. Take the left ankle in front of the right knee. Arms overhead, sit back, Utkatasana variation, flex that left foot. Again, you could stay and hang out here. You can lower about halfway. You can bring the hands down to the floor, maybe hook the left toes around the right upper arm. Chloe will play a little bit to see if she can get the Galavasana variation. She's got to lift that belly, keep looking forward, Yeah, good. Not so easy. She says, I'm done. High lunge, right foot back, arms overhead. Clear. Draw the front belly in, tailbone down. Keep the action of that back leg. More back body breathing. Take the hands, bring them together, down the center line, right elbow outside of the left knee. Again, you could scissor the arms here if you enjoyed that on the other side. And bring the left arm along the left ear. Kind of final expression. Turn the belly. Open the left side ribs towards the ceiling. Reach more with that arm. Then release. Come and find low lunge. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Vashisthasana. Find the expression of the pose, and then switch. Plank pose. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot. Vashisthasana on the other side. Find the expression of the pose. Draw the left knee to the rib cage, left foot to the upper edge of the mat. So stepping into your lizard variation. Yeah. Release the elbows down, release the back knee down. And now she knows where she's going, so probably a little bit easier on this side. She's gonna dig her left shoulder underneath that left leg and take the left hand, and I like, Chloe, to have my left hand a little bit further away from my left foot, so you can really step onto that hand. No, like you were, but not so close. So, oh yeah, exactly. A little bit further out. Turn the fingers in. Yeah. And then she's going to take the weight onto that left arm like a shelf. Yes. Coming into compass. Turn and open the ribs. We did so much side body opening. Make it count here. Breathe. And then slowly release. Undo yourself. Step into child's pose. Knees meet on the mat. And you have a few breaths to reset. Bring yourself onto your hands and knees. Almost done with that more active part of class. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And she's going to come forward into plank pose. very slow lower to the floor through Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way to the ground. Then once again, she's going to come onto her forearms. We did a lot of side lengthening and a lot of stretching into the side body, so we're going to kind of counter that a bit now. Tuck the toes underneath you and push into forearm plank. Then you're going to come into side forearm plank. Do the right side first. Yeah. And then she has her feet stacked. You could also step one foot in front of the other for a little bit more support if you need to. She's going to reach up on the inhalation with her left arm, and then she's going to twist that left arm as if she's reaching for something underneath her body. So the other way, other way. So forward, yeah, through, and then inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach for something behind you. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come back up. Slide yourself back through forearm plank and switch sides. The right arm will reach up. Exhale, it threads through the body, reaching for the camera. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, don't go so fast. Exhale. Inhale, two more. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back up. Release into forearm plank. Walk the feet in, coming back into dolphin. And then you have a couple moments here if you want to stay in one final dolphin. If Chloe wants to, she can come up into forearm stand. If you have that in your practice, you could also, I mean, you're at home, right? We're not in a class. You could basically pick up your mat and move it anywhere to a wall. Chloe needs an assist. She'll tell me. She has the wall there. And then most of us want to be mindful that we're not sagging in the lower back. So remember, we did a lot of lifting of the back rib cage, a lot of fullness of breath. So Chloe may come up again, and when she does, stay where you were. I want her to think about expanding into the area where my hand is, so that she's not going to completely collapse in the lower back when she lifts up. So the front ribs will have to draw in, and the back ribs will have to puff a little bit. So she might come up again as you wish. And again, totally fine to be using the wall if you're at home. I have a weird thing with forearm stand where sometimes I can do it in the center of the room, and other times I can't. Same. Yeah. And if you have someone at home with you, you could also stand behind them. So I'm going to ask Chloe to come up one more time. I'm going to put my arm out for support. And then I'm doing this mostly because I want her to have that experience to pull her front ribs in. I'm going to stick my hand in between her thighs, squeeze my hand, squeeze my hand. Squeeze even more, belly up, back ribs full. And then eventually she'll come down. A few breaths in child's pose if you were upside down. And eventually roll yourself up to sit. She's going to move onto her bum and straddle her legs out to the side facing the chair. And she'll take a couple of moments to find her straddle, and you want to be mindful that the kneecaps are lifting directly up towards the ceiling, so there's no internal or external rotation in the legs happening. They really should be in a neutral leg. So she's going to come up for a moment just to find nice length through her spine, open the chest, and then she can fold forward as much as she likes. You'll have a few breaths here. in the forward bend. And try not to lose the activity of the legs. So feet are still flexed. Soften in the upper back. Release the back of the neck. Again, can you think about the torso expanding and contracting with breath? And you probably can't see it in the camera, but yeah, Chloe is internally rotating her legs a little bit, so I'm going to remind her of those kneecaps pointing up so she's not overstretching. Last couple of breaths here in Upavishta Konasana. And then on the inhalation, she'll slowly walk her fingertips back towards her, and she can shake out the legs towards the front of her mat. She's gonna slowly, once she turns around to face, yeah, either way, doesn't matter. She's gonna roll down on her back, which should feel pretty nice right about now. And you can take a moment to draw your knees into the chest, maybe give yourself a little rock from side to side. Take both feet to the floor with the knees bent. So we'll set up for a bridge pose. And just like when we were standing in Tadasana, do think about the integrity of your foot position. So you want them to be symmetrical. The inner edge of the foot should be pressing down. She's going to draw her shoulder blades down her back a little bit already. And yeah, very nice. She's created a broadness across the chest, which is really nice. And on the inhalation, she's slowly going to lift her hips, coming up into bridge. Now Chloe has walked her shoulders together so she can interlace her hands behind her back. Really nice. I personally like that as a stretch. You could also hold either edge of your sticky mat if it's too much to have the hands clasped. And most of us have the tendency to really turn the feet out here and lose the integrity of the legs, even though we had it in the setup. So make sure that you haven't sort of duck-toed the feet out. And then as you press into the feet, think also about the inner legs. So there's almost a rolling of the inner thigh down. So you want to keep the legs in this kind of neutral, symmetrical position. And then maybe as you breathe here, you feel the knees reaching a little bit more towards the front of the room and your chest moving more towards your face and the back of the room. So there should be this opposite stretch of energy from the knees and the chest. One more cycle of breath. And then when you're ready, separate the arms. Slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Maybe windshield wiper the legs from side to side just to release. And so I'm actually going to stop Chloe. I'm not a big fan of pulling the knees into the chest after the back bend, especially if you're going to back bend again. So we're just going to kind of twist the legs and knees a little bit side to side like windshield wipers. You know, back bending and then drawing the knees to the chest and then back bending again, drawing the knees to the chest. It's almost, if you think about like plastic, like hard plastic, when you overbend it, it's really, you know, keep the integrity of the back bend while you're still back bending until you release. Okay, and then we're going to do one more back bend, and Chloe can choose whether she wants to do a bridge or whether she wants to do wheel. We did some wrist prep. We did a lot of chest opening, so in your own time you can come up.
And the same principles apply here. So don't turn the feet out like little ducks. Keep the inner edge of the foot pressing down. Chloe has a beautiful wheel practice, but I want her to think about pushing the chest towards the wall, in this case, behind you. Yeah, exactly. Keep rooting down through the thumb and index finger on each arm. If you're in bridge like we practiced before, totally fine, same thing we did before. And I'm going to keep harassing Chloe about these duck feet so that she doesn't lose the integrity of her legs as she reaches the chest towards that wall behind her. Really nice. And then when you're ready, in your own timing, come down. And then if it were me, I would probably take the soles of my feet together, let my knees drop out a little bit. Yeah, now you could draw the knees to the chest if you like that, or come into Supta Baddha Konasana, just something that feels kind of like a release. Chloe's choosing Happy Baby, which is also really nice. Okay, and then I'm gonna give Chloe the option of her own twist for you as well, so you can do whatever Chloe decides to do, or you know, a twist that feels really good for you. And then wherever you are in the twist, do try to keep the chest and collarbones broad and open. About the twist in the belly. So we activated that feeling from the very beginning of class when we did those little forearm plank rotations. It's kind of the same feeling passively that's happening here in the twist. So the belly is rotating. You might use the breath as you inhale and exhale into that twist. When you're ready, switch sides. Now is a nice time to find the softness of the face, release any tension of the jaw. So if you're practicing at home and you have kids or a partner, very wise to teach them how to do hands-on assists. And you can have them adjust you in your yoga practice. Last few breaths here. And when you're ready, release out of the side. Take any final posture that is symmetrical, so not something that has one side and then the other. So it would be simple knees to the chest. Again, Supta Baddha Konasana. And then eventually release to prepare for Shavasana. You earned it. And I'll guide you into the first few moments of Shavasana before I stop the video.
to do is again soften the muscles of the face, soften the jaw. And for a few moments, just watch your body breathing on the floor. Feel how the belly rises and falls with each breath. That the floor supports your body. Each exhalation, maybe creating a little bit more softness. And a little bit more release. Please stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing with us. Namaste. Thanks very much.